Hi everyone. So today we're going to do a short and intense Pilates practice. And the difference between today's class and normal classes is that usually we work a group of muscles and then we change position, work another group of muscles so that they get a break and so on. So you're moving around your mat quite a lot. In today's class, we're going to stay more or less in one position and we're going to work one group of muscles. So for example, just the abdominals in the front of your body or your glutes or whatever. To the point of fatigue. So we're going to do one exercise after the other with very little break to the point that you really feel those muscles working. So I'm going to teach it more or less to my own level. So I'm going to sort of work to the point where I get fatigued. Obviously, you at home need to figure out where that level is for yourself. So work to your own ability. So you could stop the exercise a lot sooner than I do, or you could keep it going a lot longer after I've finished. Likewise, if you don't like this way of working and you want to rather come down and have a break and then do shorter sets, feel free to mix it up any way you like. So that's what we're going to be doing. So we're going to start in standing at the very back of your mat and let your arms drop down by your sides, stand up nice and tall, root through the feet and lift up through the crown of your head. And then on your exhale, drop your chin to your chest and then imagine that you're rounding your spine up and over a great big wall. So you're peeling your spine away from that imaginary wall behind you. Bend your knees if you need to, and bring your hands all the way down towards the ground. Place the palms flat and walk them out into your plank pose. Line your hands up directly underneath your shoulders. Allow your hips to drop but not to sink, so keep a little bit of a lift there. And hold it here for 3, 2, 1. And then bend the knees. Walk your hands all the way back to meet your feet again. Stand in your forward fold. Allow your head to be heavy. Allow your arms to just hang. And then press through the feet and slowly roll yourself all the way back up. And imagine that you're stacking the spine one vertebra at a time until the head comes up last and lines up. Good. And then we're going to do that one more time to get down into plank pose. So again, allow your arms to drop forward in front of the body, chin to chest, and then round up and over. Bring your hands towards your mat, and then walk forward into your plank pose. And then this time, we're going to hold the plank. And we're going to start our first exercise here. So spread the fingers wide, lift the hips, try and maintain that neutral spine in this position. Then bring one knee into your chest and take it back. Bring the other knee in and take it back. And that's our exercise. Sometimes they call this mountain climber. So you can dictate the speed and the rhythm of your exercise. If you want to go a lot faster, like you're almost running, you can. I'm going to keep it at this pace. And we're going to work for about a minute or thereabouts. Keep breathing, so there's no specific breath pattern for this, but certainly don't hold your breath. And try and keep your upper body as still as possible. So all this movement is happening from your hips down. If you had something balancing on your spine right now, it wouldn't be spilling. It might be wobbling a little bit, but certainly not tilting. And we're going to do another 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bring your knees down into the mat. Well done. Okay, second exercise in that kind of position is from all fours. So you're going to again spread the hands wide. This time tuck the toes, press into the hands and the toes and lift your knees just off the ground and hold them there. So the knees are lifted about 1 inch, but you haven't shifted your weight forwards or backwards, you're simply holding this position. And keep holding. We're not going anywhere, we're simply not allowing ourselves to rest. Holding the same position, breathing through it. Static exercise using all the muscles on the front of the body, arms and legs. Give me another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently pop your knees down. Okay, so we're going to add on to that exercise. So for the first bit, I'm going to face the camera. Same position, starting on all fours. Tuck your toes, lift your knees just off the ground and hold it there. Now, without swaying the body too much, take one hand and tap the opposite shoulder, and then keep going, alternating from side to side. So obviously there's a little bit of compensation to keep your balance, but try and minimize the amount of sway your body is doing. And we'll do another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pop the knees back down. Very good. Okay. Coming back to that same exercise as the base and building on in a different way. Once again, tuck your toes, lift your knees just off the ground. Now take one foot and hook it behind the back of the opposite ankle. Place that foot back down and do the same thing on the other side. So keep going, switching foot to foot. So at any one time you only have 3 points of contact with the mat, the 2 hands and 1 foot. And again, the upper body should be like a statue. Keep it as still as possible while it's the lower body doing all the work. And last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And drop the knees back down. Well done. From there, lay down onto your front. Reach your arms forward like you're diving into a pool. And just take a couple of breaths there. And then propping yourself up onto your forearms. So we're going to go into a forearm plank. Come forward on your mat so that your feet are on the other side, not poking off the back of the mat. And you can either make a triangle by interlacing your hands, your fingers, and having your elbows wide, or you can have forearms parallel. So whichever one you choose, press into the elbows, lift your hips, lift your knees, stay on the balls of the feet and come into your forearm plank. Now if this is too difficult, you can lift a little bit higher, which is not really, I suppose a plank is more like a dolphin pose, but find the level of difficulty that you're able to hold and keep it there. We're going for 30 seconds. And breathe. Fifteen more seconds. And last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently lower yourself down. Stretch the arms out, bring your forehead to the mat. Okay, so I'm sure you felt a lot of that work down the front of the body. We're now going to work the glutes. So we're going to go into the side of the hip. So lying down on one side. So if you want to start on your right hand side, I normally teach these exercises laying flat like this, but for today you're going to have your right elbow underneath your shoulder so that you're lifting the rib cage away from the mat a little bit. You've got that gap there. And there's a certain amount of using that action of pushing your elbow down into the ground. And then straighten the 2 legs and bring them just in front of the body, maybe a 30-degree angle so they're sort of lining up with the front edge of your mat, front corner of your mat. The opposite hand can be on the ground for stability or on your waist. Okay, so we're going to start by lifting this top leg, bring it parallel to the ground, so level with your top hip. And then kick it as far forward as you can and take it back past the other leg in line with your spine. Keep going with that movement. We're doing 10 of those. The further forward you come, it might start to drop, so keep it parallel to the ground. Further back it goes, it's tempting to lift it a little bit higher. Good, and 5. Keep pressing into that underneath arm, keeping the rib cage lifting away from the mat, and keep the movement going. 3, 2, good, and 1. Now bring it back in line with your body, so in line with the long side of your mat. Turn your toes down towards the ground and then roll them to point up towards the ceiling. And keep going with that action. So you're internally and externally rotating that hip. Not a big movement, but you're going to be using all the rotators that wrap around the whole of the ball and socket joint, the hip joint. And you're trying to keep the leg parallel to the floor while you're doing that movement. Good, now turn the toes down towards the ground, so you're in internal rotation, and start with simple leg lifts. We're going for 10 of these. Good. 3, keep the toes pointing down. 4, 5, 6, 7, keep pushing into that bottom elbow. 9, and 10. Now turn the toes up towards the ceiling and do the same thing. Try and keep your balance, so if you feel yourself rolling back, keep the weight on the bottom leg, but this top leg is in line with your spine. And 3, 2, 1. Now bring the foot back to the neutral position so the leg is parallel to the ground and give me 10 circles. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now reverse the direction, 10 in the opposite way. This is the last set, so you should be feeling these glutes on the side of the hip at this stage. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and bring that leg down. Well done. Okay, so same series on the other side. After this, we'll stretch the glutes out. So now you're going to come and rest on your left elbow. Again, give a little bit of pressure so you're lifting that underneath side of the ribs away from the ground. Legs just in front of you, stacked one on top of the other. So about a 30-degree angle at the hips. And then when you're ready, lift your top leg up parallel to the floor and start to kick it forward and then take it back. Try not to sink into that bottom shoulder, so keep pressing the ground away. So you're doing that work underneath you as well as all this work in the right glutes. Second side is always going to fatigue a little bit quicker because there's a certain amount of work happening in the underneath leg to stabilize you and push into the ground. So don't worry if this feels harder. Faster. 2 more on this side. Have your side kick. Good. And then coming back so the leg is level with your spine. Turn the toes down towards the ground and then turn them up towards the ceiling. And keep doing that. Feel that action is happening in your hip joint. So it may not be a very big movement. Indeed, it might be different on either side. But there's a certain amount of rotation externally and internally. Good. 2 more. And then keep the toes pointing down so you're in internal rotation. Go for 10 leg lifts there. Good. Keep pressing into that bottom arm if you find yourself sinking a little bit. It's easy to forget. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then turn the toes up towards the ceiling and give me 10 more in that direction. So with the hip and external rotation. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come back to neutral. 10 circles there with the foot parallel to the floor. Doesn't matter which direction you started with. 5. And you can make these circles as big as you like once you don't start sinking into that shoulder. 2, 1. Reverse your directions. Keep the same speed and rhythm. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and let that leg rest. Well done. Okay, lay down onto your back and bring yourself into a figure of 4 stretch on one side. So cross one ankle above the opposite knee and pull that leg in towards you. Stretch out those glutes. This should feel like a relief after that series. And then switch over to the second side. Figure of 4 or any other glute stretch that you prefer. Okay, and then release and bring the feet down to the mat. So we're going to stay on our backs for the next abdominal series. So we're going to do one exercise after the other aimed at the front of the abdomen. The one thing that I want you to try and make sure of though is that you're working to your own capability, and one way of checking that is that when you're lifting your head and doing whatever is required with your legs, that the front of your tummy is not doming. So there's not a big rise and it's not pushing up towards the ceiling. You're able to flatten that dome using your transversus abdominis and pull the muscles down and in. Okay, so if you find that happening, either reduce the work in the legs, maybe lower the head, or just take a rest and come back to it and be aware of that. All right, so we're going to start with the single leg stretch. So bringing the 2 knees in towards your chest. You're going to bring your hands onto your right leg. So take your left hand onto the knee and your right hand down towards the right ankle. Keep your chin on your chest curling up and extend the left leg away. That's the action we're working on. And then switch the legs and switch the hands at the same time. Try and exhale as you straighten one leg away from you. Inhale as you're pulling it back in. Keep the chin tucked, keep lifting the upper back away from the ground. And again, you can dictate the speed and the rhythm of this exercise. I like to keep it slow at the beginning just to get the coordination of it right, give myself time. And we're going to go for another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pull the knees in and lower the head just for a moment. From here, we're going to go into the double leg stretch. I'm going to do it slightly different to how I normally teach it. On your inhale, prepare. On your exhale, curl your head and shoulders up. So you're curling into a little ball, bringing your knees towards your forehead, forehead towards your knees. Now, on your next inhale, extend the legs away on an angle that suits you. Take the arms away as if you're taking off a top hat. Circle the arms all the way around and pull the knees back in towards you, curling in each time. So inhale to reach, exhale to come all the way back in. Inhale, arms and legs reach, exhale, curl back in. We're going to go for 6 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the knees in and lower your head down to the ground. From there, take both feet straight up towards the ceiling. Inhale, exhale, curl your head and shoulders up and hold around the back of your right thigh. Allow your left leg to lift and then do a little pulse and then switch. Hold the back of the left thigh, pulse and switch. So we're going into the scissors with that extra little pulse. So you're going to exhale 1 foot down and then blow the last bit of air out before you switch the legs. Very nice. And again, if you're getting the hang of these exercises, you want to start to speed it up. To make the challenge a little bit more, try and do that without losing your control or your technique. And another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring the legs all the way back in. Okay, from here, interlace your fingers behind the back of your head. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, curl your head and shoulders up, lift the 2 legs. Now breathe in again, and as you exhale, take them down for 3, 2, 1. Pull the knees in and hold it there. Inhale, 2 feet lift, keep the chin on the chest. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees to pull them in and hold it. So again, you're deciding the angle at which you stop that movement. It may be right up there, that's absolutely fine. It may be closer to the ground as long as you're not straining in that lower back. Good, we're going to go for 4 more. Inhale, lift the feet. Exhale to take it down. 3 counts and pull it in. 2 more. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. And last one. And lower the head down. Keep the elbows wide. Keep the fingers interlaced behind the head. Last exercise in the ab series. Breathe in, exhale, curl up and over to the right and extend the left leg away. And now switch. Bring one elbow towards the opposite knee and switch again. So we're bringing in the obliques. There's a little bit of a twist happening in the upper body. Same kind of leg movement as the single leg stretch. I don't know about you, but I'm really feeling it in my abdominals now, so I'll stop talking. We'll go for another 10, 9, 1, and lower yourself down. Bring the feet down, stretch out, make the legs flat, reach the arms behind you. Okay, so that was an awful lot on the front of the tummy. Now we're going to work around the back of the body a little bit more. So the glutes, hamstrings, and the muscles in the lower back. So we're going to come into some bridging exercises. So bring the 2 feet in closer to the backs of the sitting bones. Take a breath and exhale, lift the hips up into the air. And then start to lean your weight into your left foot. Pull your right knee in towards your chest and then take that foot up towards the ceiling. Okay, so can you get the hips a little bit higher? Can you engage those left glutes and hamstrings a bit more? Then breathe in. As you exhale, float that right leg down until the thighs are parallel. Inhale to lift it back up again. We're going for 8 of those. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. Now pull that leg up again. Pull the toes back as if you're stretching down the calf and the hamstring. And then allow the hips to lower just enough to tap the ground. Inhale, lift back up again like you're trying to step that foot on the ceiling. That's the action we're going for. 2. So bring the hips down, tap them just off the ground and then lift again. It may not be a very big movement, but you really feel that left side working. And 5. Good. 3 more of those. 6, 7, and 8. Bend the right knee, bring the foot down, lower both sides of the pelvis to the mat. Okay, getting ready for the second side. Take a breath. Exhale, lift the hips up into the air, bring the weight into your right foot, engage the back of that leg, pull the left knee into the chest, and then take that foot up towards the ceiling. Breathe in. Exhale, lower, inhale, lift for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now pull the toes back, flex the foot, allow the hips to sink a little bit and then lift up using that right side. 1 and 2, like you're trying to touch the ceiling with your left foot. 4, 5, 3 more, 6, 7, and last one, 8. Bring the hips down, bring the left leg all the way down. Well done. Okay, pull the knees in towards your chest. Not quite done for the back of the body just yet. So we're going to come into a reverse tabletop position. So the knees are going to be bent, feet hip distance apart, hands just behind you so when you lean back, your elbows are slightly bent to begin with, and fingertips facing forward. All right, breathe in. As you exhale, lift your hips up between your knees and your shoulders, and try and bring the pelvis more or less parallel to the floor and level with your knees. Then bring all your weight into your left foot and straighten the right one. Bring the right foot down and switch. So really back to hamstrings and glutes again, as well as other muscles obviously, but that's where I'm feeling it mostly. So we're going to just keep working to fatigue like we've been doing with the other exercises. You can decide when that point is. Try and keep the pelvis as level as possible. I'm not doing a great job at demonstrating that. And 2, 1, and bring the hips down. Okay, let's stretch those hamstrings out. Take the legs in front of you and fold. And then last of those types of exercises, this time with straight legs. Heels of the feet down, hands again behind you, fingers facing forward. Breathe in, exhale, lift those hips up into the air. Now keep the feet pulling back towards you. Lean into the left leg and take that right leg up off the ground. And then switch. And just like you're kind of walking or marching, you're taking one leg up at a time, trying to keep the hips up. So the tendency will be for the pelvis to drop, particularly as you transfer the weight to the other side. Try another 4, 3, 2, and 1, and bring the hips all the way back down. Well done. Okay, shuffle closer to the front of your mat. Keep those legs straight out in front of you and fold over. And from here we're going for 5 roll downs and roll ups. So reach your arms forward, inhale to prepare, exhale, slowly lower yourself all the way down. And then inhale, arms up, chin to chest, and blow the air out as you come up and over the legs. So going to your own breath, trying to make sure that you're never without any air in the lungs. So you've got enough air to exhale the whole way up and the whole way down. Try and resist the temptation of holding the breath. The more you can blow that air out, the more you can engage the abdominals and the breathing muscles and just help with that natural movement. 2 more. And then after this last one, roll yourself all the way down and stay down. Take a couple of breaths there. Bring your arms out to either side, bend the knees, and just lower to one side. Come back to the middle, lower the opposite way. And we'll finish with this, just a nice, easy rotational exercise. Okay, thanks very much for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed it.